Welcome to my podcast, which is all about changing your business and money reality. This is your master money coach, Dr. Gaurav Deka, and you are money. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 20th episode of You Are Money podcast. And this episode is called Working with Rituals in Scaling Your Business. And today we have with us Chyan Jain, right? I'm saying your name right.
Perfectly.
Okay. So Chyan here happens to be a tarot card reader. He also happens to be an alternative / spiritual healer. And he's also a ritual facilitator for a lot of his clients. So basically, he works with clients via and with rituals to bring in transformation into their life. Okay. And welcoming Chyan to this episode. So
Thank you so much.
Chyan, we want to jump into what exactly you do. You know, a lot of people who might be listening to this podcast right now might be wondering how tarot reading works or how energy healing works. Who or what exactly is a ritual facilitator, you know, and how do we bring that into the realm of coaching? So we would want to know from you about your work.
See, basically, when I talk about tarot reading, it's basically two people or, few people sitting in together, one being a facilitator, one being just a person who's questioning. Now, the point is, on that table, both the people bring some energies.
Right.
Somebody who's got a question comes with a lot of energy. Maybe he's disturbed, maybe he's crying, maybe he's depressed, maybe he's worried. All that energies come to me. And as a tarot reader, I'm supposed to read their energies, plus the energies of their predictions, the energies of their past, present, future, and whatnot. Based on that, when I talk about, rituals, so basically rituals is refining your energy. You must be aware that we work on 4 levels: body,
Absolutely.
mind, soul, and aura.
Right.
So body-wise, you can exercise, you can, do effort, you can rest, you can have food. For the mind, you can work, exercise, rest again. You can solve puzzles and whatnot. But as far as the soul and the, aura is concerned, soul has, 3 things that I believe. It has a past life of its own. It has ancestral effect. It has family. It has, dead pets. I would say your ex-pets.
Right.
And
Right.
food of the soul is meditation.
Mm.
Talking about your aura, I feel events, situations, failures, successes, all that affects your aura. And you're out, there's pollution, there's whatnot that affects you. So as an energy healer, as ritual facilitator, my work is basically improving people's energy along with reading it, be it giving them a crystal to enhance their energies, or giving them a ritual to enhance their money energy or anything. It's basically identification of blockages of energy and working on that.
Amazing. I think, Chyan, a lot of people will be able to resonate with it simply because people want to reach out to alternative forms of healing. People want to reach out to spiritual workers, but they don't know exactly who is an authentic one or what is exactly an authentic one. We will come back to that point later. But firstly, I want to actually touch upon the business point of your work. And the question that I had for you was, I know a lot of different energy healers, people who work with rituals, people who work with energy methods, people who also do things like money reiki and all of that. So there is a whole energetic side to money and whole energetic side to scaling or expanding our business. I want to know from you that when you already know and you are already utilizing those methods at an energetic level, what are the challenges you had at a thought level, at a mental level in scaling your business? Because, well, we will reveal this to our audience a little later on how, the kind of money you've made, right? And the kind of progress you've made. But let's first talk about what are the challenges you faced at a thought level when it came to your business?
When it came to my business, I always wanted to grow, have more and more clients. But the point is, a lot of blockages are there in my own head. Let's suppose I get 10 clients today,
Right.
immediately. I finish this call, I get 10 clients. Oh my God, how am I going to handle all of this? Oh my God, everybody has their own problems. I can't solve 10 people's problems altogether. But who is telling me to do that? The
Right.
universe does not want to set me up with a lot of crowd. It sends me people in the right direction, right time, and only those people who need my help.
Right.
So initially, the major block was, I have to get clients, I have to establish this, and I have to show it to the world that
Right.
spiritual healers can survive. It's a business, it's a whole time thing, and it's a big stigma in our society because we don't have, some kind of regulation. We don't have an authority. We don't have a regulatory body like,
Absolutely.
professionals have. We don't have any of those.
Yeah, yeah. And that is the point I wanted to also touch upon. Thank you for bringing that up, because coaching also is an unregulated industry. When we
Yes.
talk about therapy in India, at least, again, therapy, belongs to a huge broad spectrum under which various kinds of therapeutic modalities, come, like, for example, regression therapy or inner child healing therapy or family constellation therapy. And all of these do not have a very concrete regulatory body. When similarly with business coaching, again, coaching does not have a body that is going to govern or set the standards. So I usually try to look at that, instead of a perspective that, oh, someone is going to dupe me, someone is going to take advantage of me, or someone is going to see me through judgment or shame me for being in an industry where there is no regulation or there is no set standard. Instead of looking at that from that perspective, I say that, okay, because it doesn't have a set standard, why not create such a standard that it cannot be questioned? How do you create such standard? By producing A1 level value for people, and let the quality of the work be determined by the kind of effects people experience, right? And that's what we do. That's what we also do inside ATEPS, that we constantly create value, and we allow that value to create the effect in people's lives, and then people come and, of course, produce some load of testimonials. So I want to throw that to you, Chyan, and tell us about the effects that people experience with you, because of which they end up paying you.
See, basically, when people come to me, most of the times with the use of the intuition, intuition is one tool which is inbuilt.
Hmm.
Now, it could be that, before this call, I could be, getting an intuition. Today, Gaurav is going to ask me XYZ questions. My
Right.
intuition knows it.
Yeah.
And when I bring that to the table
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
tell this person, today you are here, before they open their mouth, I tell
Hmm.
them, today you are here to discuss this. I had a client who had come to me
Hmm.
and he said, I want to talk to you. I said, come to the table. He
Right.
said, I want to come with my wife. I said, please do come.
Yeah.
And before they could climb the stairs of my office, I knew it's about intimacy.
Hmm. Hmm.
And the
Hmm.
moment they sat, I said, I don't see a chemistry between the two of you.
Right.
He said, that's what we're here for.
Hmm. Hmm.
And his wife said, shouldn't we go to a marriage counselor?
Of course, that's the kind of questions that we face, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah. What happened after that?
And after that, when I said this guy was spellbound. He said,
Hmm.
without me telling you a word, you know everything. And I
Right.
said, this, that happened. And, probably she's not able to understand you well.
Hmm.
Probably you've not had the time to spend together
Hmm.
alone, or you've not gone for a honeymoon.
Yeah.
And inadvertently, I got to know that because they got married on the 22nd of March,
Hmm.
2019, the
Hmm.
next day there was a lockdown in India and they
I
could not
see.
move.
Right. Right.
They were locked in their homes and they never had a honeymoon.
Hmm.
They
Hmm.
never got their time. And, similarly, what happens is when clients come to me, the value that I bring to the table immediately is I know you before you open your mouth
Wow.
because that's what they're here for. They're there to bear their soul with a particular person who can understand them, give
Hmm.
them a solution. maybe enhance their energies for the time being.
Right, right.
And another challenge that I generally face is, okay, I have to speak this today,
Mm,
is our field is basically really condemned in the in face of, you know, unethical things, being it
absolutely.
tantric, a
Yeah,
lot of nonsense we get today.
yeah.
And to be very pure in this entire situation is a challenge in itself because you yourself will witness so many quacks.
Mm,
You
mm.
can't go and shut up everybody.
Right,
So this is
right.
one major challenge that we feel.
Yeah, yeah. As a
And
result of which, as a result of the degradation of the quality, as a result of the standard falling away, uh, your work, our work becomes questionable, right? But the only way we can deal with it and we can continue to um, push it ahead is by creating more and more value for people. So I want to ask you, because there are so many other people, other readers, other energy healers, Chyan, who might be listening to this podcast right now, or who might be, in the initial phases of their career as an energy healer, or who do not even know that if they want to be healers, in the sense that if it is
Mhm.
meant for them, even when they have the desire for it, you know how would you tell someone to embrace their intuition versus, oh, I might be shamed? you know how can I call myself a healer? Isn't that word supposed to be uh, too generic or something? Or what if people think of me as an astrologer, which is not supposed to be a good name, a good title, things like that. People have nowadays all kinds of title, like I am a business shaman, I am uh, I am a sex reiki coach, all of these. Well, we are not condemning those people. We are not, we're not saying that you're not supposed to do that. I'm saying that sometimes we may have these names in order to mask a certain kind of insufficiency that we may feel within us, and we may find it very difficult to call ourselves well, I am a healer and I charge 25,000 rupees per session. That might be a very difficult move to make without calling yourself, I am, you know uh, uh, an energy, Reiki, astro healer,
Right.
having a complex name, or, a fancy name. So I want to go and ask you that how would you tell someone to embrace their intuition in the most basic, purest manner, instead of worrying about what the world is going to talk about them?
See, two things. Number one, your intuition can speak to you at any age. Even at the age of 5, your intuition can tell you something that this is going to happen, that is going to happen. And this is universe or say God's way of telling you that you're the chosen one. I
Right,
use the word chosen one because not everybody's intuition is activated.
right.
Not everybody wants to be a healer. I mean, that's a different bubble altogether that I want to learn tarot.
Mhm.
But on the other hand, if you're talking about intuition, it is something that speaks to you. And when you listen to it, it responds really well. And when
Mhm.
you push it down, it tries to speak to you again. But then
Mm.
if you continuously push it down, it will silence itself.
Yeah.
So if you want to be a healer, the first thing that I always feel is, do you have that inner voice? Do you
Mm.
have that guiding force within you that
Mm.
tells you something? And when you listen to it, it comes out to be true.
Right.
That is intuition. And if you have that voice, I am all in for you, tarot or any other modality,
Yeah.
be it automatic writing, be it
Right.
mediumship, anything is open for you.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
all
Please
your
also tell
calling.
us about the other modalities, because our audience may want to know what are the different other modalities that, as an energy healer, one can pursue and still have a scaling business out of it, like you do.
See, a lot of people are, mediumship experts. They
Mm.
talk with, they say to talk with spirits,
Right.
although it might not be the right thing to say. There are a lot
Mm.
of people who communicate with angels for that. For
Right.
example, one of my friends got in touch with me, said that my mother expired on so and so date,
Mm. Mm.
and I wish to have a message from her. What was her last feelings?
Right.
So these facilitators are nobody else than the mediums themselves, and they will
Mm.
give you information. That information information could be directly related from that source, or could be directly through us, angel or mediums themselves. Because we are in a realm where we get information.
Yeah.
There is something called automatic writing, wherein we connect with angels, archangels, and we get information for people. Let's suppose Gaurav asks, Chyan, what is my monthly income this month? I am on bed through the month, and I've been sleeping. I've been reading comics,
Right.
and I am worried. Give me some kind of a figure. See, the obvious answer to this would be Gaurav, get up and start working.
Huh.
Get up
True.
and interact with the client. But an
Right.
automatic writer, if I get somebody who's asking me this, I don't know how many hours are you working, but my knowledge will travel and tell me that Gaurav is not working enough. He's resting too much. I see him sleeping. Please tell him to wake up.
Right.
So these are the some of modalities. There are people who are dowsers. They do pendulum dowsing, they do dowsers through the rods, and they find treasures and
Right.
whatnot.
Right.
There are
Right.
numerous modalities that really work on this. There crystal healing. Now, crystal healing is altogether a different profession, wherein you place crystals on a body, or you charge gem waters and you supply to people, or you make grids.
Yeah.
So these are some of them. And then there is numerology. Numerology is more of a theoretical line, wherein you prepare numerological reports, just like a
Right.
kundali. You prepare a numerological kundali and you present to your client. So there are numerous modalities that people work with and make a profession.
Yeah.
See, Sanjay Bhidumani is one of those famous, numerologists. Then you have Jaya Madan, who's a famous tarot reader as well as Vastu expert. You have, I forgot his name, KB, uh, Mr. Kushdeep Bansal, who's an Astro Vastu specialist.
I see.
And he's he's an extremely famous person, and his modality links Vastu as well as your Kundali together to form a home which is flawless and saves you from all the defects of your Kundali mostly.
Right.
So
Right.
there are brilliant modalities out there in the world. But the thing is, people run after the bubbles which are bursting and to get in the bubble and get the best
Right.
out of it.
Right. I think that is one more thing because, Chyan, I remember you telling me that there are like lots of people in this field. For example, when I look at my world, I see, oh, everyone is a coach. That's because, well, I might be following them on Instagram. I might be interacting with them, on social media. My entire immediate world is made of, coaches. And that's why I may feel that, oh, everyone wants to become a coach. I want to ask you that when you see so many different energy healers, tarot readers, or as you said, crystal healers, practitioners in the spiritual realm, and sometimes we may feel that, will I be able to make it because there are so many of them? Why would people want to come to me? How do you deal with that thought? How do you work with those kind of thoughts?
See, I'll use the word competition or threats for them, but then I'm a marketing, I've done my post-grad in marketing.
Yes, you are
So there
also a
was this
business
term called,
grad. I wanted to point it
yes,
out for
I'm a
people,
business.
yeah.
So I'm a business grad, and there was a term in marketing called unique selling proposition or USP,
SP.
differentiation. These are the terms. Now you have to see that the market is full of people. And for me, I have to see what is my unique talent. What is that I'm bringing that nobody else brings? See, for
Absolutely.
example, Apple brings a phone that nobody can copy straight away. It's a technology that nobody has been able to copy, and it is stopping its game. So it's on you whether you want to be Apple or you want to be a Lenovo or you want to be a Sony. It's all on to you.
Right.
You want to be a commoner or you want to differentiate and become a leader. That's what I would say. And that requires you to innovate also simultaneously. When I
Which
started
means that
doing
you
tarot, it
need
was like,
constant creativity, right?
yeah, constant innovation and creativity in your work. Because when I started, it was just three cards, past, present, future. It went on to, spreads. It went on
Wow.
to
Yeah.
multiple spreads for single question. So my techniques have changed over time. And similarly, you need to change over time. So that's
Right.
how I feel you have to continuously build yourself, destroy yourself, build yourself, destroy yourself. That's how you change. And that's what people like. Even if I have let's say if I have 15 clients who are regular with, It's like every time we go to him, he has the same tone, same style, same way of doing things.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is new in him? Why shouldn't I shift? What is there which is new for me? So if my client is coming to me for the fifth or the sixth time, I make it sure that they feel that they come for the first time.
Hmm.
They've been
Hmm.
valued. Otherwise,
Right.
they'll be like, okay, I can go to Tom, Dick, and Harry
Because
and the
every
seminar.
session allows them to go deeper if there is an approach that helps them to, go ahead of the approach that you already worked on, right?
And since you've touched upon this, there's this friend of ours, Mrs. Anupama Joshi. She
Hmm.
uses a term called mushroom readers for tarot readers who've just come up and who've ratified or who've just, done rote learning of tarot. She's used that term in front of me because we were talking once. And, you know, it's very easy to cram things and present to people, but what is the value that you're bringing to the table?
Yeah.
The other
Yeah.
day, I was interacting with one of the participants who was there for your workshop.
Hmm.
So Mrs. Beatty was talking with me, and I was saying that, I see some bonds cards. The person you're talking about, does he do a lot of havans? And it was my intuition. Does he do a
Hmm.
lot of fire rituals? And when I talked about it, she said, how do you know?
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
intuition.
Right.
That's how it
Right. So, Chayan, tell us, how did you use, because, okay, I want to declare this for the audience that you mentioned you recently had uh, a breakthrough wherein you made close to 70,000 rupees in a single day, right? So I want to point it out for everyone. Chayan made 70,000 rupees in a single day. Okay. So, and it definitely has, he has definitely worked on it at a thought level, at a mental level. He has applied our methods like the deliberate thought building process, right? And it has definitely been a scaling process for you. So, Chayan, I want to ask you how you combined intuition and thought work to reach to this stage of your business.
See, I worked on the four dimensions that I told you.
Yeah.
That was body, mind, soul, and aura. So for the body, first of all, I have to ensure that I'm in a fit space. I'm not aching somewhere
Hmm.
because an ache does not make me comfortable. I
Right.
cannot be myself.
Yeah, which is
If I talk about
basically
the mind,
allowing your body to reach that level of openness. Yeah.
yeah, talking about our mind is like a box that absorbs everything. It's like a
Hmm.
vacuum cleaner. Everything goes into it. Now,
Right.
it does not differentiate between the useful and the useless. So it is our job to, sort of clear the mind all the time. If it is not clear, we cannot take over.
Hmm.
If I
Hmm.
talk about the soul, we have to somehow, meditate and keep ourselves in balance. Because even at the soul level, we might be disturbed at times. We might feel,
Mhm.
oh, I cannot do this, I'm overwhelmed, I'm this, I'm that. Talking about the aura, it is basically, doing rituals. I do a lot of rituals for myself also. They could be protection, they could be related to money, prosperity, and they
Right.
could be related to other things as well. Now, talking about this, the training of the mind is one of the most important components, I believe, that I
Hmm.
worked upon. And that included the DTB process also, listening to this podcast at length also.
I know. I mean, Chayan, I keep on interacting with Chayan on Instagram, and whenever we are interacting, he tells me that, oh, he has gone back to so and so episode and he has listened to it for whatever number of times.
So basically, the mind needs to filter. And these podcasts, this is a bliss for me because it filters a lot of nonsense out of the brain. Like the very first thing that you told us, that was basically be yourself.
Yeah.
Now that I go on Facebook or I go on lives, and I see people, Indian people, giving them accents. Even I used to have that awful, awful habit, accent without knowledge,
Okay.
and you
Right.
look like a baboon on the screen. So what it is being yourself. A lot of filtering takes place when you listen to content. When you do DTB, again, you filter a lot of thoughts from your head. I
Hmm.
remember the first DTB that I did, my thoughts were 20 number, 20.
Wow. Wow. I mean,
And
someone getting to know the number of thoughts that one has, like we don't know how many thoughts we are thinking. Yeah, please.
yes, and as Louis Hay says, we averagely think 60,000 thoughts a day.
Yeah.
Or maybe there's somebody else who said, but she's written that in her book, you can heal your body and you can heal your life. So yes, she says about that. And obviously you cannot pen down 60,000 thoughts on a piece of paper. But what you can see is, what is my mind speaking throughout the day? And how does it affect me? How do I feel about it? So when you listen to, say, something like Your Money, feel that, this is the clutter I have accumulated in my life. The other day you were talking about materialism in one of your episodes. So it's like, why do I need so much of clutter around me, which is blocking my energy? And when this can be useful to somebody else, why should I hold on to it? Our brain is also something like this. Honestly, a lot of people, spoil their lives thinking that relative did that thing on somebody's marriage, that relative did not attend my marriage, this person did this to me, that person did that to me. And, the best way to do is just forgive and be light. Don't keep grudges and your mind is free. So
it's
that's
amazing
how
how you deal with it, Chyan, because I want to point it out for our people as well who are listening to it. I keep talking about, okay, this is an error in your thinking, or this is a point of view that does not belong to you. It might belong to someone else. It's a belief system that you may have borrowed from others, and how you just brought in the point of forgiveness, right? So the moment, maybe the way you work with it is, when you become aware of a thought like that, you are immediately able to forgive the other person. You are able to forgive the situation, and you also might be able to energetically change the situation by just meditating upon it, and using and working through your ritual to work with it. So there might be various ways to work with the thoughts that do not bring in the desired result for us, and working with ritual would be one of them, right? Becoming aware of them is the first important point, because if we don't know exactly what we are thinking, we wouldn't have the next step to question that thought, to inquire into that thought, that, okay, by thinking this thought, who's the kind of person that I become? What's the kind of result do I create, right? I wouldn't reach there until I know, oh, this is what I'm thinking, which happens when you actually start writing down the thoughts, and then you start questioning, okay, where did these come from, right? So thank you for all the praises of Your Money. And I just wanted to touch on one important point, because it's not a question of just humor, but it's a far deeper question, actually. So when you talked about the point about accents, or people trying to be someone else, right? Or people who are not just inspired by their white counterparts, but also wanting to be so much like them, doing the kind of models that they do. So yeah, we still, this whole point that if a client is coming to you and you charge, let us say, 25,000 for a reading, right? Which should be around 300 USD, around, isn't it? And then someone goes to a white person, a white reader, with all kinds of fairy lights on their background, and wearing the most beautiful shamanic dress one possibly could, and they would not flinch to pay that 300 USD, $300. That is also because we still have the white perspective. We still have the white hierarchy sitting on top of our head. What are the challenges you face as a brown spiritualist versus a white spiritualist?
See, though all of them say go towards one particular direction, you have to rise you have to increase your vibration. The methodologies are different.
Yeah.
When I would, be burning or doing some kind of a ritual with some kind of herbs, their herbs are different. Their methodology is more Catholic, or say, westernized.
Yeah.
And I'm more the Indian way. I would go towards my Vedas and Puranas and Itihasa and whatnot. They have their own way of behaving and
Yeah,
deciding
yeah,
things.
yeah.
So that's the difference. Moreover, see, tarot is one thing that we have adopted from the Westerners. It's
Mm,
not something that belongs to us. Had it
mm,
been Mukta or anything else, or it had been the die thing,
yeah,
I would have
yeah.
said that, die rolling and all of this belongs to us. This is not
Us.
there.
Yeah,
Whereas this thing, tarot, has been completely developed by
yeah,
them, and
yeah,
we are trying to adapt to them.
yeah.
If we are those people who are somehow influenced by the white culture. We have
Mm,
had a 200 years of slavery period with them,
mm, yeah.
and that has left a lot. I would say, I would not refrain today, but then when the queen expired,
Mm,
a lot of Indians were affected out of it.
mm, mm,
None of them thought that their ancestors had gone through a lot because of them,
mm,
and there are
mm.
traces of that slavery flowing in their heads, in
Yeah,
their souls. When I
yeah.
talked about the soul, this is the point I mean. There's
Mm,
one thing that is affecting their soul, and today also they're crying, making tattoos of the queen and hail
mm.
the queen. You haven't even met the queen once in your
Right.
life.
Right, right.
Why are you getting
Probably it is, I mean, it is not about the queen for them. It's
yeah,
about identification with the
exactly.
West. It's about identification with the white culture. It's about identification with the supremacist thinking, the hierarchical thinking that we have absorbed from them, the conscience, I would say. And that is why I think that's what I was asking you, that the kind of racial problems or challenges
Mhm.
that you or I face as people who are brown, and who are in the spiritual market making offers, versus someone who is white and making offers in the spiritual market. And there is always, we get to hear this, people who are manifestation coaches in the white world, making 1 million or more than 1 million every year. And the kind of challenges that we face here, not only because of the value of our currency, but also of our own impressions about who are we as brown spiritual workers. Will our offers be taken with the same kind of gravity and same kind of impression as anyone coming from the white world you know
See, I'd like to share one more thing. Most of what the white people do has been adapted from India itself. You see yoga, you see the concept of meditation based on the seven chakras and whatnot. The same malasana goes there, modernizes itself, and becomes the toilet pose. So
right.
basically, it's a it's a kind of a amalgamation which is forming in the West and the East.
East. Yeah.
Some of that we take, some of us they take,
Yeah.
they blend it with their culture and they represent to us, and we think, oh, this is something new.
Yeah.
Similarly, the brown also do the same thing. See, we are all bored of our ties and we are all bored of our mukshpattam and whatnot, and we want new techniques, right? We go for
Right.
tarot and dowsing and whatnot. So it's all a blend of everything happening here. And
Right.
I wouldn't say that, this modality is low, that modality is high. All
True.
modalities are excellent.
True. True. True.
If used in the right manner, everything ethically is excellent and
Yeah.
gives awesome results.
Yeah. Because that is what the ethical application of how you make your offers, how much value you bring to your clients, whether you are offering the truth to your clients, are you able to um, guide them to the path that they are supposed to go, with all your integrity, in the whole process of not just working with them one on one, but also selling what you are selling. That is going to show up in the rest of your clients, and the clients that are going to come even in the future, right? So Chyan, my next question to you was about ATEPS. I know that you signed up for ATEPS way back in March.
Yes, I did it in March, last
Yeah.
week of March.
Yes, 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 yes. So you signed up with the super early bird prices. That's so.
So that's a banya fact of me that I have to save most of my money and I do go for it first.
Now,
The
now
next
my
time
question
Gaurav
to
goes,
you, my question to you is, have you already made the money that you put in there?
I've made most of it, yes.
Okay.
Because honestly, when I took this course, I was given a statement that you will make money and you
Mm,
have to keep that faith in you. You know,
mm,
that kind of a vaccination that I was given while signing up, that you don't
right,
even think about it, it's going to happen naturally. That
right.
faith in itself, without me having that kind of a faith, that faith, when instilled in me, acts like that nitro boost in the game of Road Rash.
Hmm,
And
hmm,
you go like,
hmm.
okay, I have the nitro boost on and I have to do my work. I
Right.
just have to listen, believe, follow, act upon it, and it works. For
Hmm,
some time, when we go to coaches, I personally feel when I go to a coach, I am supposed to make myself a machine, or I have to clean this head so much that
hmm,
whatever the person is giving me, I am supposed to take it in fully.
hmm,
Otherwise,
hmm,
their task is no matter how good, I won't be able to benefit.
hmm,
I
hmm,
have to go with a very open mind.
hmm,
And
hmm.
that's what is about ATEPS. Now, Gaurav might give me 4 modules, 5 modules, 10
Hmm.
modules, 15
That's right.
modules. But if I'm sitting with this headache, sun lunga, I'll listen to it, I'll do it, I'll follow it, and I'm
Yeah,
now
yeah,
90. So I can keep sitting at 90 and wait for that money to come. But hardly, that doesn't work. I have to act right now, and it has
yeah.
to. And it does work. Honestly, see, rather than worrying about how will the money come in, when will the
Hmm,
money come in, how will I refine myself, will the client come or not, why don't you take a source that clears up your head? That's what I believe.
right, right.
And that's what is ATEPS for me, honestly.
Hmm,
When I'm doing sales, module number 5 talks about business sales.
hmm, hmm,
So I have to remove the clutter which I have with respect to sales in my head. When
hmm,
I talk about being myself or presenting myself, there is a module on that. I
hmm.
have to, you know, I would say bear my soul for it.
True,
Whatever
true.
this guy is giving me, I have to accept with open arms and act upon it. It's like a guru pull for me or anybody. Go with an open
Oh,
mind and make that money and come back home and let's go, Gaurav.
thank you. Well, ATEPS, I mean, as we are doing this interview, I'm sure there will be people who will be watching this interview probably in November, maybe next year, April or May, whenever. So ATEPS hasn't started yet as we are doing this podcast. And it's going to start in just 2 more weeks, from the 1st of October. 1st of October is when we open our membership portal to everyone, and we will allow people to have a look, settle in, absorb, and then the next week onward, which is October 8th onwards, we will start our live coaching calls. However, what the question that I have for you, Chyan, is it has not started. And meanwhile, we have had our free Facebook community, You Are Money, where I keep on sharing things there, and there are other coaches also who keep on doing their brilliant life coaching. Along with that, we have had 2 master classes so far. So I I really want to know that having being a business grad, combining the ritual work facilitation that you do, right? Being a tarot reader, how did you scale your business? And if you look back, what is the kind of scaling that has happened in terms of, you can quote it in terms of percentage or you can quote it in terms of number? What's the kind of scaling that has happened? Because we also want our audience to believe that by pursuing this career, by pursuing to be a tarot reader, by pursuing to be an energy healer, by pursuing to be a spiritual healer, or a Reiki practitioner, whoever, it is possible to have a fully booked, scalable business.
Yes. So first of all, since you talked about rituals, I will take you 1 year back, last year near Diwali, which is somewhere around Halloween. I was still in a lot of doubt whether should I continue tarot or whether should I stop it. Can you
Right.
believe asking your own tarot cards whether should I continue or whether should I shut this down?
Wow, that's the real
Literally,
irony.
like looking at the mirror.
Right.
But the point is, I was introduced to 2 people, honestly. One was you, and by that time we had not started interacting.
Yeah.
Though I
Yeah.
was seeing some of your videos on YouTube, and there was this one lady, very fine lady. She's known as Sheetal Supanmatre,
Yes,
very
absolutely.
famous
Yeah, I
healer
know her
and
too. Yeah.
excellent one. And I did a course by her on Goddess Lakshmi.
Hmm.
I was introduced to a lot of rituals. And you
Right.
won't believe, on the, I would say, aura level or the mind level or the soul level, I was so confused. I was having all symptoms of worry, anxiety, and whatnot.
Hmm.
I was calling my dear friend Vishruti, who had introduced me to you,
Yes.
and she used to say, "Why do you panic so much?" There was a day when I had a panic attack, and I was talking with her, and she said, "Just relax and attend this class." I did attend, I learned whatever I could.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started practicing it, my energy started to refine. This is why I talk about rituals a lot.
True.
They refine your energy. The first thing that they do is they start decluttering your head of the energies, your body and soul and aura of the energies, which you don't require. See, you also light a lamp in your temple every day. What is the point of raising a lamp in the air and rotating it clockwise, anti-clockwise? That is also a ritual, no?
Yes. True. True. Absolutely. I mean, I used to say this a lot that the purpose of ritual is to achieve two things. One is to begin something, and the
Yes,
other is to end something,
exactly.
right?
So there are two things. Either you release or you cultivate. And that time
Right.
I started cultivating my thoughts for a better business instead of giving up.
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
I asked myself only one question. Do you believe in yourself? And my intuition said, yes, you do believe in yourself, no matter what the word says. Stand up for yourself and walk. And then
I
when I,
want to I want everyone who might be a new tarot reader, struggling tarot reader, struggling energy healer, I want every one of them to listen to this, that do you believe in yourself?
yeah,
And
and
can you see this as an example of the fact that by pursuing this as a career, you can actually have a full-fledged business, not just like a side job, right? Yeah, please go ahead.
and moreover, I was also an entrepreneurship student. So
Mm.
my teachers and my books taught me one thing. Tomorrow, if you don't even have a single penny in your pocket, even if your work is not paying you a single penny, would you still be willing to do it? Would you still be willing to pursue it? Will you still have that fire
That's
within
the
you?
master
I
question.
had,
Yeah.
and I had the answer, yes, I
Yes.
will do it.
So what's the
Even
driving
on my,
force? What's the driving force that, okay, even if I don't make money, even if I fail, I'll still do it? What's the driving force?
that's an inner inspiration. That's an inner intuition that speaks for itself that yes, you can help the people out there. Yes, you can be of some use to people. You can give them value.
So if
See,
I
I have
give up, it means that the people whose life would have changed do not change.
not changed. And I'll share a very small testimony with you. It was a Facebook Live. A lady was asking me about her health. I saw some cards and I told her, you've got a fatty liver, drink more water and do this and do that. You've got this issue. She was like, it's not even there in my reports. My reports are going to come in 2 days. Unfortunately, I had to log off from Facebook. There was some issue with my account.
Right.
6 months down the line, I get a message from that lady. So you saved my life. I said,
Wow.
how did I save your life? How am I a doctor? Tell me. Because and then she said in a certain live you told me that am I supposed to hydrate myself more and I'm supposed to do this and there was a fatty liver and this and
Mm.
that. But everything is resolved now. And she wrote a very huge feedback for me. I
Wow.
was like, oh my God, I have something in me.
True. True.
Even the universe reaffirms the same thing. If you ask yourself, do I have it in me? There will be 10 people who will be telling you, yes, my dear, you're saving our lives. You're doing something for
Yeah.
us. You're
Yeah.
improving our situations. It's like, when you cry and look up in the sky to God and you complain, Aap sunte bhi ho meri? Do you even listen?
Do you
Your
even listen?
client
Yeah.
comes up to you and tells you,
Yeah.
yes, we listen to you.
Absolutely. So yeah, they are the biggest reflectors of our inner world, right?
A lot of people will show up and this is what happens. And that is when I started continuing my rituals.
Mm.
And I was in March or April, I think we started in April, right?
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
the podcast. I was listening to the podcast, I was taking my breaks, and there were times when I was asking you questions and you used to tell me, give yourself a break, absorb
Mm.
the thing. Do not rush
Right.
with it.
Right.
And I was like, okay. And I used to keep my stuff away, and I used to start reading a novel or a book or something. And I used to be busy with my clients. And recently, I was like, okay, now October is coming. You better brace yourself up. Every 2 days, you read one or you listen to one podcast, and make your notes and stuff like that. And I started doing that again, along with the
Right.
master classes, which were always amazing. And the group had these coaching calls,
Yeah. Yeah.
all combined together. First, faith in yourself. Number two, rituals. Number three, the information,
Hmm.
decluttering. I
Hmm.
mean, you might call it anything, but I would say your money is number one, a decluttering process.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Number two, it's about, building what is necessary, right? Until and unless the Twin Towers are demolished, you won't have a new building coming up there.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
you need to demolish that Twin Tower
True.
in order to, move towards a
Yeah.
newer cell, which is more
Absolutely.
effective.
Absolutely. I mean, I keep saying this, that in order for you to be able to have
Yes.
accessibility to your real, original thoughts that you will need in order to move in a certain direction, all the other um, neural dump, basically, the garbage that surrounds you from reaching the nectar of your thought, you have to be able to, as you said, declutter, right? So I think you've
And
brought that out so well.
and there is just one more thing that I would tell the strugglers. Your parents, your friends, your society might say anything about you.
Mm-hmm.
You have to think only one thing. What is my inner self telling me? What is my God, my universe, my soul, my mind? What are they telling me? It's not about ego.
Yeah.
It's about a general voice that comes from within. Am I able to do it? Am I a good person? Am I giving the value? Am I benefiting people? If not, leave it.
Yeah, I
If
just want to
yes,
circle back on that point once again, Chan, that the beautiful point that you made, wherein you said that if I don't show up, if I don't make this choice to go ahead and do the reading for people, if I question myself that, oh, am I good enough for this? Should I be doing this? Maybe it's not great enough. Maybe it's not going to bring me enough money. Then a lot of people whose life could have been affected by me in the most positive manner, uh, it doesn't happen, right? It doesn't happen. So, which means that making money is actually not a selfish act, right?
yeah,
Our desire to have money could also benefit so many other people.
it does. It is giving so much of employment to so many people.
Hmm.
You talked about it. If you go to a restaurant, even the butler or the chef
Yeah.
or the restaurant owner is getting money out of it, then the rent of the restaurant is being paid by it. The person who owns the
True.
restaurant
True.
able to maintain it. That too is happening with your money indirectly.
Yeah.
Plus, the vegetable vendor is also getting his money from
Hmm.
you, which is going to the farmer,
Yeah.
and the farmer is further paying to the pesticide provider or the seed provider, who is further getting it from somewhere or the other. It's a long chain. Even
True.
if, let's say, you're giving a cent to everybody, you're paying 500 rupees on
Hmm.
your meal, let's say, you're giving a cent to so many people indirectly. It's a
Hmm.
chain. You're giving so much to the government in the form of taxes. When you're
Absolutely.
building a society for yourself, you're building a nation for yourself. Where, where does the road or the bridge, etc., come from? Nobody's, nobody is in the socialist mode anymore. They are proceeding
So
towards,
that brings us to a very important point, Shayan, which is we see, especially in the world of spiritual and energy healing, we see a lot of people offering free services. And then they
Mhm.
are very scared to either charge the client. Let's say there are 3 free sessions that I give, which are
Mhm.
complimentary. By the time the fourth session comes, they are either very scared to quote the price, or they are scared to raise their fee, with the fear that the people are going to go away, because either there are too many readers in the
Mhm.
market, or they'll just not give that kind of money for a spiritual service, quote unquote. So did you have those kind of feelings?
Honestly, I did, but there were two or three things that I worked upon. Number one, uh, Sheetal told me one story, which was about Drigu, who we consider as the supreme of astrology.
Right.
This sage had categorically said that if you're helping people, you have the full right to charge a fee for your knowledge.
Hmm. Hmm.
Any knowledge, astrological, tarot, prediction based, anything, should be chargeable because you prepare
Absolutely.
yourself. Secondly, I read a lot of books, I did a lot of meditation, I did a lot of intuition work. Does that not cost me any time, value, money, or resource? It did.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I am investing so much into it, do not
Hmm.
I deserve some kind of a return?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
thirdly, if I give everything free,
Hmm.
who in this world will come to me or who will feed me? Or I
Right.
will be sitting with a beggar's plate or charity. That's not possible. You have to quote your fee. You have
Yeah.
to open yourself to receiving.
Yeah.
I've had clients who gifted me things. I am not able to show it to you right now. There was this guy who gave me a home theater
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
appreciation for the work that I was doing. He used to
Amazing.
pay me for my services and rituals. They used to benefit him. And he gave me a home theater system because he had an electronics shop.
Hmm.
He said, "Sir, this is Diwali time and I want to give you something." That was last
Wow.
year.
Wow.
And I was like so happy. So, we deserve it and we should accept it. A major
Absolutely.
problem with all of us is we're not willing to accept sometimes. It's a blockage that we create for ourselves, and that's why money does not flow into our
That's
lives.
because of guilt. That's because of shame. Right.
Yeah.
True.
Like,
True.
for example, if you come to me tomorrow saying, Chayan, I want a tarot session. Okay, I will charge a bomb, first of all.
Hmm.
Secondly, I will charge it because I have to run a house. I have to run my life. I have
Absolutely.
to pay the bills. And that
Absolutely.
way, I have to continue the chain that has to be there. And
True.
charging for your service is very important. It should be a guilt-free process. Because
Hmm.
have you ever gone to a doctor who gives you, every kind of a treatment for free? Or
Absolutely.
you've got a free surgery? Okay, you go to a doctor, you show yourself, you consult them, and they're like, free kidney replacement. Like that happens.
Yeah.
Nothing of that sort.
And the reason we go with that kind of certainty, wherein we already know that we are going to pay them,
Yes.
versus we go to someone else without the certainty that can we pay them this much amount of money. Like I go to a doctor, I have a certain certainty in my head that okay, this session is going to cost me 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, whatever, versus the certainty slash uncertainty that I go to to a spiritual healer or maybe to a coach. And that is also because of the socialized idea of a certain profession being more honorable than the
Yes.
other, a certain
Gaurav,
profession more valuable than the other. Yeah, but it's a social
I would,
idea.
I would also like to quote economics. There's a concept of utility in economics. And when we find out the consumer's equilibrium, whether the consumer is satisfied or not with the consumption of certain goods and services, we find a combination based on the utility, that the
Mm,
benefit or value that a person gets. We say when the price of that good is equal to the money spent on that good, value derived is equal to it. We are at equilibrium. All these three things equal: price,
right.
value, and the money spent. When they are equal, a person is at equilibrium, they will be willing to spend.
Absolutely. I,
So,
I just wanted to, so sorry, you go ahead. You were completing your line.
so yeah. And without money, there's no seriousness, honestly. There's no value, to be honest. They'll just listen and they'll just move on. My experience tells me whenever I did free lives, there were people who listened to me, they went away, they came to me 3 months down the line. Oh, you said this, or you said that. Oh, I don't even remember. Put that into the box.
Right,
So money
right.
brings seriousness, money brings attention, value,
Money
and
brings attention, money brings value, yes.
it is
However,
power.
when you say something like the value has to be equivalent to the pricing that we charge, in something like this, going back to standardized norms, going back to regulations, going back to industry standards, how do you put an arbitrary number to it? Like, why would I pay Chyan
Hmm.
25,000 rupees for a session versus another tarot reader who charges me 500 rupees per session? And
Hmm.
what kind of impact does it create on the audience?
See, first of all, as a tarot reader, I have to create value for you. See, you go to a 500 rupee tarot reader or 25,000 rupee tarot reader. The difference between the two is the perceived value. How much value do you perceive and you think that are you
Applauds to
getting?
that.
Huh?
Applauds to that. Yeah.
So it's about perceived value. See, value cannot be seen. You cannot measure it in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Although there's a measurement called cardinal utility where you say utility can be measured in numbers. That was in economics. So I would say still that even a 500 rupee people person can give you value. But the point is, if you're going to a 25,000 rupee guy, what kind of value is he giving you? What is
Yeah.
that extra USP? What is that differentiation that you're getting there? And is that valuable to you? Example, you go to someone who's a trichologist or somebody who's a dermatologist, and you show them, I have hair fall. And suddenly he says, there are 10,901 hair strands on your head right now. Versus you go to somebody who's saying, oh, hair fall, how long? You see the difference?
Yeah.
Somebody who can be very specific, very clear, very value delivered, and you're like, oh, without me opening my mouth, this guy knows so much. This guy is started delivering before even I start taking that service, exactly like your money. You know, exactly
Yeah,
like
the
ATEPS.
transformation happens even before, someone has made the payment. Yes.
Exactly. That's the value creation I would talk about. So if I am charging, say, 25,000 rupees, what is the additional extra different that I'm offering them? I've seen people who do a lot of tarot reading. They will open 20 cards for a single question. But I simply open two cards.
I actually wanted to, bring that up, Chyan, because it's not only in tarot, even in other forms of coaching also, people think that creating value is giving quote unquote more, but more is not equivalent to value. Like, for example, as you said, that opening up 20 cards does not make the reading any better than opening up two cards and delivering the knowledge, the insight that they need to have.
See, honestly, it has to be your intuition that has to speak, not the cards. The cards are just pictures. They will not speak anything, honestly. It is what the message you derive and how well do you explain and relate it with the situation and communicate it.
Right.
And does the other person understand it? Does it clear the question? Does it clear the doubt? And at the end of it, you can see it in their face. Are they satisfied or not?
Yeah,
That's the basic thing.
have they got the result they were coming they came
Have they
looking
got the
for?
result or not? See, attention is very easy. They've got the interest, they've got the desire, they've got the action in place. But is the result also in place? IDA model has been hit well, but if the result is not there, you still remain that 500 rupee guy and you never become the 25,000 rupee guy.
True. I think that's a very valuable insight for a lot of people who will be listening to this podcast. And I'm expecting a lot of like readers and energy healers will be listening to this particular episode at least. And I know that we are running out of time, but I think I'm left with two questions. One is, um, how do you look forward to scaling and transforming your business in the long future, Chyan?
See,
By long, I
honestly,
mean, somewhere, let's say around 10 years.
today what I'm doing is basically who comes to me and so on and so forth. But what if I become a man? What if I, you know, give so much value? I would say that I don't want to give value to everybody, but to those who seek for value. I'm not a clown who's gonna entertain people, to be honest. Tarot readers nowadays have become clowns, pulling out cards and reading out, like, it has become the process. 10 years down the line, I'd like to be like a Sanjay B. Jumani or a, Dejan Daruwala.
Right.
Few people come to me with their problems in their head clear. And when I sit with them, I clear those things, I clear that, and I give them the value that they seek. Nobody wants to listen to your stories, honestly. Nobody's interested in that, except for, kitty party ladies, or I would say that, the uh, afternoon tea cup coffee people.
Right.
But apart from that, the real client is somebody who just wants to, know the gist of it and act upon it.
Yeah, they
That's the
just,
smart.
you give them the meat, that's what you do, and you bring the transformation. That's what, as quickly as possible in the
So
simplest way
in 10
possible.
years, I would use the word, I would like to hit the bull's eye instead of
Mm,
beating around the bush.
amazing.
Yeah, that's it.
And for that, what are the kind of expectations you have about ATEPS? Simply because it has not started, we're going to start from October onwards. How do you
See,
see yourself inside ATEPS?
inside ATEPS, I think since there are 5 modules, there are multiple things out there. There's a private podcast out
Which is
there.
also going to
And
increase, by the way. It's just a small sapling now. It's going to grow into a huge tree.
yeah, so if I'm looking at the sapling now, and if there's a banyan tree waiting out for me there, what I see is a massive transformation for myself. Number one, right now, since a lot of transformation has already taken place, wherein I've
Mm,
become my true self. I can move around my hands. I can do a lot of stuff on the screen that I refrained from. I flew an
mm,
accent, which I changed, and I've changed a lot. And see, I talked about the brain clutter. I talked about the conduction.
mm.
I talked about a lot of things today. Furthermore, I would like to refine myself better, understand myself better. If I understand myself, I deliver better. If I value my own self better, I deliver better. So, if I, can you just name the 5 modules and I will just go through with this immediately?
Yeah, the first module is your thoughts make you money. That's the first
So,
module.
this is about the thought refining process.
Hmm,
At the mental level or the mind level, I would like to clear my head right now and
right,
build a state of mind which will help me towards prosperity, abundance, and happiness.
right.
The second B.
The second is who are you in your social media? It's about authentic social media marketing.
So when I talk about social media, how am I presenting myself? What are the cons? What are the pros that have been there? How are people noticing me? How are not?
Hmm,
How do I present myself? How do I be an authentic, Chyan Jain out there? So if I talk about Talk with Tarot, how is Talk with Tarot presenting itself out there? How is it performing? What is its basic, I would say, identity out there
right,
on social media? Third
right.
B.
Third is your body, your business, which is basically about your nervous system and the kind of traumas that are there in your nervous system, which may not allow you to have a full-fledged business because it's an extension of the blocks that you carry within your body.
So I was talking about the soul level. Traumas hit the soul, not just the body, mind,
Hmm,
or
that
aura.
is so true.
It's deeply embedded in your soul. And I said the work at the soul level and the aura level is extremely difficult. Now, if the mind is clear, the body is clear, I
Hmm,
have to work on the soul level. That is where I have to uproot all those weeds, I would say, of trauma.
true.
And truly, honestly, trauma is something that is embedded and it has layers and layers over it.
Hmm,
It's like,
hmm,
on our skin also, there are multiple, say, 7 layers or something. It's at
right.
the deeply rooted level, and we have to remove all the 7 layers and go inside and pluck that out. So similarly, trauma has to be dealt with. So this is my expectation from the third level,
Right.
third module. Fourth B.
So fourth is called metaphysics of business, which is everything about the energy of business.
See, being a business grad, you know the no's, pros, cons, SWOT analysis, whatnot.
Yeah, all the
You've done
rational
10,
stuff.
11.
Yeah.
You've read a lot of stuff out there in the finance books, marketing books, but what about the practical world? What
Hmm,
about the mental enhancement, the evolution that needs to be there at your mental space?
hmm, hmm.
Everybody can theoretically tell you how to be an entrepreneur. They can tell
Yeah,
you the cost analysis, the price analysis, but nobody tells you how to do your business. Nobody tells you how to clear your head for your business.
true,
For
true.
example, you see Jhalak Diklaj or any dance show, they say, even if you're sick, do your dance. We don't care. Give your best and get away with it,
Hmm,
right?
hmm, hmm.
Similarly, if I have a module on business, I would like to definitely go through, if I have to do my business in a certain situation, if I'm traveling,
Yeah.
if I'm doing that, how do I handle that critical situation effort?
Hmm.
All those things. Apart from that, handling my mind, soul, brain, all of that same time, integrating all of that.
All of
And
that. Yeah.
lastly, the
Lastly is
sales.
called simplifying the selling process, which is I keep talking about sales, sales, sales,
So
and I inspire people to sell from a space of deep love and deep connection.
So since you've talked about business again and sales, being a marketing guy, I would say, profit is the lifeblood of a business, right? Lifeline of a business is profit, and profit comes from sales. No business can thrive longer without any sales.
Mm.
And I said, nobody's going to come with any money to me for my platter when I ask them for charity. That is certainly not what I am looking
Right.
for. And I want to, expand my business in such a way that they look up to me like a Shakuntala Devi, or say, those are my inspirations. I'd like
Right.
to reach that level. Why would I say that? Because we're there to achieve something out there. And it's a thing that comes from the straight away heart. See, Gaurav, one day you started. You were a technical doctor, I believe, yeah?
True.
Right?
True. Yes, I was. Yes.
Instead of, opening up the arteries or the lungs or whatever you could have done, you, diverted yourself into the mind work, into the
Mm.
area which was completely different.
Mm.
You worked on multiple levels, completely different from your field. And
Truly.
that was your
Yeah.
calling.
Yeah. That's because I chose. I mean, I was able to. Uh, I. I. I found it, but then it took me a lot of time to believe that whatever I have found is what I want to choose. And I think that's the theme of today's episode also, because I've been coming I've been coming back to this whole point that a lot of people might be in conflicts about, can I be a healer? Should I be? Can I have a profitable business as a tarot reader? Can I even have clients coming to me and paying me? Um, and the truth is, you can. You know.
Yeah. And in the beginning, you must also would have faced opposition. And everybody does face
Absolutely,
opposition.
everyone faces oppositions. I mean,
Everyone.
there will be conflicting and opposing thoughts that people are going to bring up to you in the form of different voices. Definitely.
So opposition is the first friend of money.
Mm.
The more they oppose you, the more you're fueled up to earn more money. And the more money you earn, the more shut up they will learn. That's my basic rule.
Right.
They will shut up only when they see those pink notes in your hand, those currency notes, hard, crisp money notes, currency notes in your hand, the
Right.
bills. So when they see them, they will simply say, okay, this person is on its own.
Okay, my
They
job is
can
done.
manage their time. Yeah, mind your own business. That's what their statement would be. And in
True.
fact, they'll be the first ones asking you for money.
Right. Chayan, do you also train people? Do you have students? Do you have programs apart from the one-on-one work you do long term with people?
Apart from my one-on-one work, I teach courses in crystal healing. I
Mm.
teach courses on pendulum dowsing, rune casting,
Mm.
tarot reading, and there are numerous more that I'm doing. So these
So
are the kind of things that I've been doing. I also take special classes in tarot for different kinds of
for
spreads.
advanced
There's a special,
learners, these are for
yeah,
advanced learners. Yeah.
there's a
Okay.
special master class by me on detecting, dark magic with tarot.
Mm. Mm.
Now, this is one topic that goes into the dark fields wherein people feel scared. So
Mm.
this is one
Mm.
thing that I have done. So there are numerous things that I'm teaching. Yes.
And and Chayan, where can people find you? How do we, because I also want people to know about your work and go and check you out and work with you. How do people, students slash clients, find you?
I'm there on Instagram and Facebook in the name of Talk with Tarot,
Talk with
TALLK.
Tarot. Okay.
Yes.
Is there a underscore below that?
Talk underscore with underscore tarot.
Talk,
That's
TALK underscore with WITH underscore tarot, TAROT, right? That's what. So that's where people can find you and people can DM you, right?
yes, definitely.
Great. Great. So I literally request every single person here, especially the tarot readers who are struggling to charge money and, wanting to make money but not being able to take that first step, go and reach out to Chan on Instagram, send him a DM, right?
Yes. Why not?
Okay, Chayan, this was the most insightful and illuminating talk that we had, and how 1 hour and 19 minutes went away, I didn't realize. So thank
The
you so much.
pleasure is all mine, and I'm extremely overjoyed actually. I was wondering what will I say today, and how will the conversation go. will I be grilled for the ritual work or whatever? But then it never happened, and I was very happy.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Chyan, and looking forward to seeing you inside ATEPS from October 1st onwards.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you soon.
See you. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast and are willing to change your business and money reality, head to my free coaching community on Facebook called You Are Money. Link is in the show notes. And do not forget to leave a review on Spotify.com or Apple Podcast. Thank you so much.